those of Lieutenant Commander Kamenetsky, who always seemed willing to spend an hour in the kitchen educating the young chef on the art of Russian cuisine. "Good morning, sir," Mr. Collins responded in accented English. Along with his studies of Earth cuisine, he was also working on his English skills. His English still carried the heavy brogue so common to the coroner version of English they called Angla. "It will just be the two of us this morning," Nathan said, noticing that the cook had set out the usual 4 place settings. "The ladies will not be joining you this morning." "I'm afraid they have other duties to attend to this morning," Nathan told him. "Yes, sir," Mr. Collins said, immediately removing the extra settings. "No ladies?" Vladimir said. His face drooped with disappointment. Nathan looked at him funny as the chef left the room and returned to the adjoining galley. "We're talking about Cameron and Jessica here, Vlad, not a couple of hot nurses." "Just because I am not trying to sleep with them does not mean I cannot enjoy their company," Vladimir argued. "After all, they are women, even if they are not susceptible to my obvious charms," he added, with the slightest hint of sarcasm. Nathan smiled as he took his first sip of morning coffee, or what the Aunt Cottons had provided as a substitute. It was bitter, more so than the coffee on Earth, and required a considerable amount of sweetener to make it palatable for the small Terran portion of the crew. "Where are they?" Vlad asked. Nathan winced slightly at the bitter flavor as he set his cup down and began to add more sweetener. "Cameron is down on Coroner. They're giving her a final deep scan to ensure that all the nanites have left her system." "I thought they were gone weeks ago," Vladimir said. "So did I. Apparently they just wanted to be sure before she left the Pantoris cluster for good." "What about Jessica? What's her excuse?" "The shuttles bringing the crew back from Coroner are arriving this morning," Nathan explained. "She wanted to oversee their check-in." "Doesn't she have staff that can handle such details?" "You know Jess," Nathan said as he took another sip, finding the level of bitterness more tolerable. "Still the one to do it herself whenever possible." Vladimir chuckled softly as the cook placed a plate of the Coroneran version of bacon and eggs on the table in front of him. "It was not so long ago that you and I were much the same way, my friend." Vladimir began devouring his breakfast in earnest as he spoke. He paused, taking notice of the weary look on Nathan's face. "Still not sleeping?" "Not much, no," Nathan admitted as he took his first bite. "At least not as much as I'd like. To be honest, I'm really looking forward to getting back to Earth and handing everything over to Fleet. Perhaps then I can get some sleep." "Yes, I hear the beds in prison are quite comfortable." "Funny." Nathan took another bite of his food, chasing it with a sip of the Aunt Cotton coffee. He tried to ignore his friend's remark, fully aware of its sarcastic intent. However, the thought still haunted him to some degree, just as it had since the day he decided to form the alliance with the people of the Pantoris cluster and share the jump drive technology with them. "You don't really think they will—" "Psst," Vladimir smirked as he continued to shovel food in his mouth. "You have done amazing things while in command, Nathan. You liberated billions of people and gained advanced technologies. But more importantly, you managed to save this ship and return her to Earth. You will be welcomed as a hero, my friend." "Let's hope," Nathan said, unconvinced. "But we're not home yet." "Psst." "What, did you spring a leak or something?" Vladimir finished chewing his food and swallowed before continuing. "We survived 4 attacks, destroyed a dozen enemy warships, and invaded a technologically advanced empire." Vladimir scooped up another load of eggs, his loaded fork hovering at his mouth. "After all that, how hard can a 1,000-light-year journey be?" Vladimir loaded up his mouth once again. "Trust me," he continued, his mouth again full of food. "You will become a legend on Earth, just as you are in the Pantoris cluster." "I think you're exaggerating again," Nathan said. "I'm not worthy of such status. You and I both know that most of it was just dumb luck." Vladimir raised his finger to pause the conversation as he finished swallowing. "Legends are not born as such. Rather, they are persons no different than you or I who accepted a role thrust upon them by fate and had the fortitude to live up to the challenge to the best of their ability." Vladimir smiled, obviously pleased that he had remembered the quote correctly. "I've heard that somewhere before," Nathan said, a quizzical expression on his face. Vladimir smiled even more broadly. "I do know something of